Hi, thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to talk about anxiety and self-care while you're suffering from it. Anxiety is an illness in itself, and it's a core element in a lot of other mental illnesses. We naturally have some anxiety. It's there as a survival mechanism because when we were living in caves, we had to be constantly looking out for danger. It exists to try and keep us alive, but it becomes a problem when you have too much of it. There's a big difference between normal everyday anxiety and suffering from an anxiety disorder. Living with an anxiety disorder is truly awful. You live every moment feeling scared. It's very disabling. It makes you unable to function normally, and I'm speaking from experience. When you're suffering from anxiety, you see everything differently. So you have to think about your activities and what you expose yourself to a lot more. You have to be aware of what is helpful to you and what is bad for you. When you have anxiety, your mind is very sensitive, and things that would normally be small become big. Some things you should avoid anyway, but if you have a mental illness, it's even more vital. So I'm going to go through some of the things that you should not do or that you need to be very careful of. 1. Using the internet for information. Not saying don't use the internet, because you have to these days, but you need to be very careful how you use it. Now, to find out about anything, you Google it. The problem is that the internet is rife with inaccurate information and scary stories. If you search for a story about alien abduction, you will find it. There are pages and videos about all kinds of conspiracy theories, but you have no idea who these people are who put these stories out there. Anyone can write a story or an article and post it online because there are no laws against it. And some people will say anything if they think they can make money from it. If you have anxiety, the internet is not your friend. The internet is the Wild West. Whatever it is you're anxious about, don't Google it. Talk to someone who knows, or call a helpline. Get advice from an expert. 2. Scary TV. Don't watch horror films or documentaries about the paranormal, violence, crime, terrorism, natural disasters, or anything grisly like that, because they can play on your imagination and it stimulates the adrenaline. Don't watch anything really depressing either, because it will just make you feel worse. Watch comedy. It's a lot better for you. 3. Fortune telling. Doing any kind of fortune telling, such as dowsing, tarot cards, psychic phone lines, horoscopes, hand reading, or anything like that is a really bad idea. These things really are not very healthy anyway, and people can become addicted to them. Also, if it says anything bad, your mind will go on a rampage. The imagination goes into overdrive and takes off like a freight train down a mountainside. Even if it's something that's neither good nor bad, your mind can twist things, so stay away from it. 4. Paranormal activities. Engaging in activities to do with the paranormal, if you're into that sort of thing. Seances, ghost hunting, mediumship, or using a Ouija board. These things you should be very careful of anyway. People can have scary experiences with these things even if they're not anxious. So if you have anxiety, you can't. Just don't go there. 5. Hardline or radical religious or spiritual teaching. This is harmful whether you're anxious or not, but if you're anxious, you're even more vulnerable to its effects. Whatever your faith is, choose very carefully who you allow to teach you. Stay away from anything that preaches hell, fire and damnation, has extreme views on life and death, or tells you that the world is in crisis or is going to end. This will make you a nervous wreck. 6. Following the news. It's normal to want to keep up with what's happening in the world, but you need to be careful about how much you watch or listen to the news, because it's a constant stream of depressing, disturbing, fear-inducing stories. If you engage with it too much, it can fuel the anxiety even further and make you feel even more depressed, because it can really make you feel unsafe in the world. So you should put a limit on it. 7. Doing illegal drugs. Although it might feel tempting, just to get some relief from the awful feelings, any relief you feel is temporary, and when you come down, all the symptoms will come back with a vengeance. It will screw with your mind and make the anxiety, depression, or paranoia 10 times worse. Then you will crave the relief of being high even more, and you can very quickly become addicted, which creates a whole new, even bigger problem. So just don't do it. 8. Making big decisions. Don't make any important decisions while you're anxious, because you make decisions according to how you feel, and you're not feeling normal or thinking normally. So you can easily make the wrong decision. Don't do anything that can't be reversed. If you have to make a big decision on something, make sure that you can change it later on if you need to. Don't sign your life away to anything. 9. Putting yourself in stressful situations. When you're anxious, some things just aren't manageable. You need to have things a certain way, and some situations can be very challenging, especially where there are social expectations. You have your things that you do to help you cope, and if you're in a situation that doesn't allow you to do those things, it's very hard to deal with. Don't go beyond your limits. If something doesn't feel manageable to you, don't do it. Other people need to understand that anxiety is an illness, and you have needs. If they don't, avoid spending time with them, because they will only cause you more stress. There are some things you can do to help manage anxiety day to day, like slow, deep breathing. The finger spinner is good. Squeezing a stress ball, snapping an elastic band or hairband on your wrist can actually be quite helpful. Music can help. Sometimes, to calm myself, I listen to Enya. Classical music is good as well. What will not help is fighting it. The more you try and fight the anxiety, the worse it gets. You can't force it to go away. It will keep coming back until you address the issues and get the treatment you need. To get rid of the symptoms, you have to treat the cause. Anxiety needs professional help to be overcome. There's no way to avoid that. If you're suffering from anxiety, take that step. See the doctor, so you can get on the road to recovery. Talking saves lives. Silence takes lives. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.